Virginia Tech, Boise State, Monday night. Marco, what should bettors be thinking about?
Can Virginia Tech do something that only one team has done in the last 2 years? That's beat Boise State.
Well, the line says it's going to be close to a toss-up.
This game, RJ, comes down to Virginia Tech, if they're able with...
Just to let you know, sometimes you forget this. We're a betting show. All right? So I'm a batter. I've got my pencil and paper out.
Right.
What should I be looking at when I handicap this game?
If you believe Virginia Tech will be able to run the ball and control the clock and overpower Boise State. This is going to be power football against Boise State.
Okay, now that's an interesting point because that's always the question. Boise and those teams, TCU last year, are playing against teams that they are most likely better than physically most of the time. So they've got more physicality, they've got better skill positions, better coaching, and they just dominate. It's like a JV team versus a senior varsity team. I remember back, and you remember this, you were in your 30s probably, is the Houston run and shoot teams, right? Remember back in the day? I remember there was a classic game against Miami of Florida on a Thursday night game, and Miami rushed 3, if I remember, and just pushed that line all the way back. And it was a situation where the skill positions and the scheme couldn't compete against the physicality. Is that the question that you see as the key question?
That absolutely. That's the whole thing. And if Virginia Tech is able to do that, they're going to be able to control the game, stay in the game, and then that's going to play right into their hands. On the flip side, if Boise State is able to come out and get a couple quick scores like they do on most teams, that just ruins Virginia Tech because Virginia Tech is not geared to be a comeback team.
Okay, well remember, that's a good point. We're a show about answers, not questions. So how will Virginia Tech do against Boise?
Well, this is going to be a theory that I'm going to use, and this is how I came up with this game, because I can tell you right now in Vegas, the betting on this game, and I'm looking at over 12,000 bets on this game, and there'll be a ton more come Monday because this is the ESPN game.
Okay, so this is coming from sportsbookspy.com. We actually track the bets coming in, and that's from multiple sportsbooks. Go ahead.
We're looking at this game's being bet 50-50. Now, the line has taken a small drop. It opened at 2.5. It has come down to 1.5. Boise State favorite. The game is being played on a neutral field. I want people to realize that.
All right, so let's talk about that. This is in Washington, D.C.?
It's in Washington, D.C. It's going to be like a home neutral for Virginia Tech, obviously, proximity to, from Virginia to D.C.
So how does the neutral field, Boise's renowned for their home field advantage, how does the neutral field affect this game?
It's a situation that's obviously going to favor Virginia Tech, but what I'm doing and looking at the line, this is going to be a concept, and I know you'll dissect it, but I look at games whenever I have a trouble of deciding which side I want to come up with. I bring in the teaser to help me figure out what I want to do with this game. And to me, when this game opened at 2.5, if you teased Virginia Tech up to 9.5 with their power game and the premise that they're going to be able to power, that looks too good to be true. Virginia Tech plus 9.5, because I don't think anybody thinks Virginia Tech will get blown out in this game. With that thinking, it makes me go the other way. And if you put the gun to my head, that's going to land me on Boise State, that Vegas did put them out as open at a 2.5.
All right, so this is what we talk about in pregame forums a lot. This is what you're considering a potential trap game? Is if it's too good to be true from Vegas, it probably is. And you're saying, looking at this game, the idea that you could tease, which a lot of the square players do, Virginia Tech up to +8, +8.5, that is such a strong play. You think not necessarily as a handicap, but the perception is you're saying that's too good to be true, so I don't like that Virginia Tech side. I like Boise. Exactly. And there's really two kinds of handicappers. The guys that try to figure out what Vegas is trying to do and taking advantage of, they're trying to screw the suckers and you're going to take advantage of that. Or there's the value guys that say, I just want to find the line that's 2 or 3 points off. You're mostly a trap guy and you look at this as a slight trap situation, so you like Boise.
Right. Another reason that I do like Boise, I actually like the fact that this is the first game of the season rather than later in the season, because as they run deeper in the season, if you had a monumental test like this, there's more pressure because, you know, you're undefeated, you're getting deeper into the season and trying, because really, if they win this ball game, they can run the table.
Well, we did a press release, and you can go to pregame.com and check this out just this week, and it was mentioned on Mike and Mike. Our friends at Mike and Mike's been great with us. Is Boise is favored or projected to be favored in every game this season, but this as a 2-point favorite is by far the closest game. So they will not have really another classically close game the rest of the year if they can win this game. But you're saying the fact that they're not 8-0 takes the pressure off a little bit.
Right. And they've had all summer spring drills, every practice, they've been one focus. This first game, Virginia Tech
make a good point.
statement.
And I think Boise, though Virginia Tech has good coaching, I think Boise has extraordinary coaching. And the first game of the year, especially when it's a tough, competitive game, coaching matters because they've had months to prepare.
And Boise is a team that's more apt to put in trick plays, as we've seen.
It's a good point, too. So you're making a formal projection on this.
I lean to Boise 31-24. I got Boise State winning it.
Okay, now this is not your best bet on the videos. That's on another video.
That is correct.
Okay, good stuff. Okay, now it's your turn. Make any comment in the forums or at YouTube, and we'll actually respond to it, Marco and I, and we're going to continue the conversation. Next up, we're looking at Toledo and Arizona.